All right, we're here at the 2024 PGA Show. I'm here with Caitlin Farley from Cobra Golf, and we've got some exciting stuff here in the driver department, which I know we've already done kind of launch pieces on this, but DarkSpeed.
Yeah.
It is brand new, super exciting for 2024. Let's get right into the different models because I know people want to know more. Let's start with the DarkSpeed LS.
Yeah, for sure.
What is brand new with the DarkSpeed LS?
Yeah, DarkSpeed for us is really exciting because we're talking all about speed. You hear a bunch of other companies out there talking about 10K and forgiveness.
Yep.
We want to bring as much speed as we can to the golfer. And that doesn't necessarily mean just for the better player. We design faster golf products for all variety of different types of players. And as we'll get into, we have 3 models. So first off, the LS.
Yep.
This is going to be our better player model. So LS stands for low spin. So a little bit more of a compact shape. Looking down at a dress, a little shorter from front to back. Still, 460cc. We make the face a little bit taller. But this is going to be our most aggressive aerodynamic shape.
Yep.
So we've been big into aero for a few years, but we have really honed in the shaping to create as much club head speed as possible by reducing drag. So we do a few things with the shape. We have a raised trailing edge here. It makes the club head more symmetrical, so if you think of other aerodynamic shapes out there, like an airplane wing,
Yep.
We try to really make it look like a fast bullet going through the air. We do things like soften the leading edges, and all of those things contribute to making the airflow faster around the club head to help reduce drag throughout the swing. You may be wondering what types of benefits that's going to bring the golfer. So during testing, we've seen between a mile and a mile and a half faster club head speed for golfers that have 95 mile per hour club head speed. So for the average swing speed, that's a considerable gain in distance and speed as well.
Especially for the LS, where you would think that 95 would probably not be the the first demographic you think of when you think of LS.
Yeah.
You'd probably think of the extremely high speed player.
Yeah.
But to hear that you can gain something, even if you're not swinging 120 miles an hour, is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then also brand new power shell as well.
Yeah, brand new power shell face. So we've made it a little bit larger than we had before, doing things like making more intricate welding techniques to help increase that face area. It wraps down around the sole, so you're basically going to get a bigger face area that flexes more, gives you that trampoline effect to give you more speed across the center of the face. While we're still on the LS, we have another exciting product within that family to share with you. It's an 8-degree LS.
Ooh.
So you mentioned the very fast swingers.
Yep.
We've made a product for them too. So we have the 8-degree, we call it our race car. It's inspired by some of the drivers that we've prototyped for Kyle Berkshire that he uses to compete with during his long drive championships. So that's going to be an even more aggressive aero shape. So definitely not for everybody. It's going to be a very low spin head, so designed for players with the 110 mile an hour club head range.
Yep.
But a really fun option to add to the line for players that can handle that beast of a driver.
8 degrees is not for me, but impressive that it's available for those who need it. And like you mentioned, low spin is also probably the lowest. I mean, I know you have to get fit. If you're going to get a new DarkSpeed, definitely go get fit. But in general, lowest launching, lowest spinning of the family.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We do have a weight in the back now, so for players that think that this head is a little bit too low spinning for them, they have the option to put the heavy weight in the back to help dial in that speed and give them a little bit of extra spin and launch as well. So more variety of fitting options for that player looking to fine-tune their ball flight.
Yeah, awesome. Then we move into, I like to call it this year, it's kind of my term, the bread and butter, which is the DarkSpeed X. So I'll grab, so let's tell us a little bit about DarkSpeed X and what we're looking at now with that.
Yeah, the X is kind of our unicorn driver. So as you said, it's our core model. It's going to fit the widest variety of players. So it kind of combines the best things of the LS in terms of that low spin for speed, but also giving that player a little bit more forgiveness. So a little bit bigger of a profile than the LS is. Still has those aerodynamic properties, so softened leading edges, all that good stuff that's going to help create more club head speed. But this is for the player that is looking for the best combination of speed, low spin, and forgiveness. We have a brand new front weight.
Yep.
So for better players, this model's played on tour as well. So for players that want to dial down spin, between 300 and 400 RPMs, they can throw the heavy weight in the front.
It's big. That's a good amount.
And still get a lot of stability on off-center hits.
Yeah. Yeah, it's with the X, that like you kind of already mentioned, it's the widest range. You'll see it on tour, but you'll also be able to see players who have a little higher handicap still find success with the same driver. And having the ability to kind of move weights around, change the spin a little bit, maybe add a little stability is always a great option for their fitter to kind of dial them in. Another thing too is you'll notice on the bottom of all three drivers, but I guess we can talk about it here, Power Bridge. So what is Power Bridge in the DarkSpeed line?
Yeah, so Power Bridge, just to explain kind of the trade-offs that you get with designing an arrow shape, typically you sacrifice a lot of forgiveness. So to compensate for that, we have a weight that we position low and forward in the head. So this is going to help, put the CG lower and forward to help with stability and speed. So it really balances out that design really nicely. The unique part of the design is it's a bridge-style weight that's suspended above the sole. So it's connected on the heel toe. What that does is it allows the sole and the face to flex. If that weight was connected to the sole, it'd be a lot more of a rigid design. You wouldn't get that flexibility. So every component that we've added to the club is designed to maximize speed. So that bridge is a really unique design for us.
Yep, and I like the other thing too is I like about the X is that from address it looks great. There's not much there. I mean, all three of these models, matte black, kind of fades into the kind of the visible carbon crown, and just a really clean, nice looking club at address. Not too much going on, nothing to distract you. And that's with all three of them, which is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, you're not going to have those bonding ledges that we had before with Aerojet. It's going to be a really sleek looking design, a really nice carbon fiber fade, and a really nice satin matte finish.
Yeah, kind of goes with the DarkSpeed theme.
Yeah.
And then we get into what I think, at least last year, its previous generation, I thought was basically kind of one of the most overlooked drivers.
Yeah.
And this is the DarkSpeed Max. Now, I think every time we hear Max as a term, we automatically think, well, if I'm a high-speed player or whatever, I can't play that. It's only for people who need high launch, high spin, whatever. But I don't think this driver kind of plays that way. I feel like it's a little more versatile than the name implies.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, it's a very versatile head. Just because it's Max and it has a draw weight doesn't mean it's not for you if you're a better player. We have better players and tour players using the Max. So it's a very versatile club. Max, you'll see across different industries as maximum forgiveness, playing into that 10K story. This club will definitely go up against any of them in terms of forgiveness. But we also have the ability to tune weight, whereas those models don't. So if you want the most forgiveness as possible, you can throw the heavy weight in the back. If you need slice correction help, throw the heavy weight in the heel, and you'll get up to 12 yards of slice correction. If you need more, you can throw the hosel setting in the draw position and get another 7 yards. So a lot of tunability available in this model. So this is going to be our most forgiving head. We've done a lot of testing with Gene Ferrante and his robot, and it was one of the most accurate that was tested of the bunch that he tested. On high toe shots where a lot of us miss, we found that we were only losing 0.3 yards of distance. So very accurate across the entire face for those that don't hit it on center very often, which is the majority of them.
And I also like too, like with the DarkSpeed Max is like you mentioned with the weights, it doesn't have to be a draw club. You can make it fairly neutral, and if you're a player like myself who fights a little bit of the left side, you don't have to worry that you can't play that head, because you can make it a little more neutral and still play it even though you draw the ball.
Exactly.
So, and then also too, pretty interesting that this year, a little bit of a color code. So I know in the shaft world, we've kind of seen stuff where red typically means a little higher launch, blue's mid, black tends to be low. I feel like we have kind of a similar theme here with the color coding of LS, X, and Max.
Yeah, very observant. Thanks for calling that out. Yeah, it's part of the story that we're trying to tell this year, just kind of tying in, like you said, with the shaft companies. So each head is designed for a specific player as we went through. So LS, typically you said low spin, low launch shafts are black or white. So we have the link white shaft, which is tested really well for us in the LS model. And then the club cosmetics on the LS model is going to be very, very dark and neutral. As you get into the X, that blue shaft, mid-launch, mid-spin, you're going to have little pops of blue on the head to tie into that story. And then finally the Max, little pops of red to go with that high launch, mid to high spin story. But we use aftermarket shafts in all of our products as well, so something that not all companies do, so giving value and performance to the player at a really good price point, $549.
That's awesome. So if you're looking to get a new driver, you're looking for something that's exciting, Cobra DarkSpeed, the whole line, there's something for everybody. If you're looking for max forgiveness, max speed, something in between, a little of both, they have it here. So check out Cobra's DarkSpeed driver line. Thanks, Caitlin.
Thanks, Brian.